Hey everyone, I'm Rosie and welcome back to my channel. This week I want to do a one source challenge with the December issue of National Geographic. Now these challenges I think are really fun because you have such limited sources. Whoa, wait, can we talk about how cool this picture is? You only use one source, so I'm just going to use this one magazine to pull images from, and this is already looking like a fantastic magazine. Like, did you see that, like whatever that snake thing was, these frogs, all of these animals? Like, I'm already, even with just those like 5 pages, I feel like I could make something with those. Oh my God, these caterpillars, like, I am excited because this is already an incredible issue. Oh my God, okay. This is too much. So, I'm gonna flip through this whole book, this whole magazine, and I will come back and talk about the things that I really like. Even this image is really cool. Like, I'm telling you, there's some great stuff in this issue. I'm really excited for this challenge. So let's dig into this book and I will check back once I have some ideas and some cool images I pulled out. All right, let's talk about some of the ideas I might have. So there's something about this eyeball and this hippo that I really like, and I feel like I could have the hippo coming out from the middle of the eye and put the eye maybe on a landscape, and I don't know, that might be funny. Keep the black pupil so it still looks like an eye, so there's like a hippo coming out of an eyeball. I don't know, I kind of like that idea, so maybe we'll do that. But I have maybe a very ambitious idea involving this image just because it's so good. I don't know, like, I can't not use this. So here's what I'm thinking. So a few months ago, I did a 3D collage with like different layers. I'm thinking I can do that with this. So say I cut the spiral out and lift it up. So like this is level with the paper, and then I can have it go up like a spiral. And so this front part will be like higher, raised up. I'm probably doing a horrible job explaining that. But then, so I'll have this like 3D spiral, and then I have a bunch of animals that I could put maybe like tucked in. So like this fish could be swimming out from one of these things. Maybe these penguins are jumping off one of them, like up here. There's a whale somewhere that could be swimming. Here he is. Maybe he's coming out from like under here, he's swimming through this. I can't make it too busy, but that is an idea that maybe could be cool, and maybe, I don't know. The 3D thing I think could be really cool, especially with this image, but I'm not exactly sure how like weaving other animals within this will work, but I think we can cross that bridge when we get there. I first want to just try this eyeball hippo thing just because I feel like it's a little bit easier, and then maybe I can start gluing this. I'm gonna have to glue this on cardstock to make it a little stiffer for making it 3D. So maybe I'll do that, glue up some of the other animals, and then while I'm waiting for them to dry, I'll try the hippo and the eyeball thing. And I don't know, we'll just see what those look like. I don't know, let's just see if we can make any of this work. All right, here's where we are with the hippo eyeball thing. I'm not sure if this is reading quite as well as I want it to. So I think we need to put this off to the side and come back to it. Let's go on to the 3D snake thing and see if we like that better. I don't think this is bad. I just think it's a little bit confusing and not quite reading as well as I want it to. So let's come back to it and maybe I'll feel differently in a little bit. So I have my elements glued to my cardstock. This will just make everything like a lot more solid when we make it 3D. So let's start getting this cut out and start seeing if we can elevate the pieces and see if we can make this work. So I have my spiral cut out and I feel like I'm ready now to attach this to a new piece of paper and give this some height. I'm still a little torn on this piece. I feel like I could take it or leave it. It might look weird on the paper if there is, white up here, but maybe we just have the whole piece be this shape. So I have my second piece of paper and getting out my adhesive little squares, and we'll use these to give this piece some height. And then once that's done, we'll add our little critters and hopefully it looks cool. So I was just thinking, I would love this paper to be not bright white. I feel like if it was black, it might blend in a little bit better and help with the illusion. So I'm gonna look for a blank black page in one of my books to use as like a backdrop here because I just feel like this is really distracting. Okay, I found it. In this space book, I have this back page that is just completely blank. Actually, there's one in the front too. We could use that one. This kind of looks like construction paper a little bit, and I think this will work just fine. So the very bottom part I'm gonna make on ground level. So I'm gonna glue it straight to the piece of paper. So let me get this lined up. Let me plan this out a little bit. I think I wanna put one of these every inch or so, but I do want it to get slightly higher. So I think maybe like every 2, if I add one, is that too, that might be too many. And if I wanted to include this section here, I think I'd have it 5 tall, so one more than this over here. But I'm still not sure I even want to include that. So the thing I'm gonna do first is adhere all of these together. So I have 4 here, and so I'm gonna use the adhesive sticky thing to stick this 4 stack together so I have it all ready for when I want to assemble the whole thing. So here's how it's looking with all of the layers. It's really subtle on camera, but it's definitely like a nice little level of dimension. I did accidentally sort of like put the whole thing a little bit crooked. So you can see the corners sticking out over here and the background over here sticking out. I think that's fine. I'll just trim off that stuff at the end. It's really not that important. It was just kind of have a stable background. Now, I'm still really torn about this top part. Here's what it would look like if it was full, and here's what it looked like without. I think the thing I'm struggling with is how much like darkness there is up here on the image, and maybe I should have left that up here on this one. It was a really complicated area to cut out. The rest of this was pretty clear cutting. It was pretty obvious like where I should cut. This one was a little bit confusing, so I think that that's part of the reason why I don't necessarily like it, because it's a little bit confusing. I'm really torn. Part of the reason why I think I don't want to is because the elements I'm going to add on next are these three. And these penguins, I think, might look really cute up here on this ledge, and it might make it look really like they're jumping off a ledge if this one is sort of empty up here. And then I'm thinking this fish can come out maybe, well, I don't know, I didn't think this through fully, somewhere. And then the whale maybe down here from out in this little area. I'm not entirely sure. I think we should get these cut out and start playing around with it. I'll keep this piece, but I'm still not sold on it. So let's get these cut out and see what we want to do next. So how am I feeling about this? I really love this fish. I think for a few reasons. I think the color of the fish really plays nicely with the colorfulness of the snake. But I also think that maybe it's kind of looking like coral, and so he kind of makes sense that he's in here. The penguins I also think are adorable. I think that they kind of work with this scene. It's like they're diving into the abyss of the spiral. What I think isn't working is this whale. I don't know if it's like the color isn't quite fitting in, or it's the shape, or he doesn't look quite like a whale when he's just like that. It doesn't feel right. So I think that we're gonna have to lose the whale, which makes me a little sad. I do think we're missing one more element. We need something to go over here, and the whale just wasn't the right character for that. So I think I should go back into the magazine or some of those other pages I cut out and see if we can find anything that will go there. It's obviously slim pickings because I'm just using that one magazine. I mean, maybe this turtle, he would fit, he's a good size. I think the stingray is cool, but I think it's not super clear what it is. So maybe this turtle, that's a contender. Oh, or a frog maybe? So I'm digging this turtle. I think that his colors work, and I think he works really well with the fish. But I think that this is pretty cool. I mean, for what it is, I'm only using images from that one magazine, and I love the idea of taking one image and making it on different layers. And so taking this one sort of tail and elevating it is really cool. I've done 3D where you take different images and sort of layer them on top, but this is the same image layered on different layers. And so I think that that's really cool. The last thing I have to decide is whether or not I want any of these to be elevated or if I should just glue them onto the layer they're sitting on. I think the penguins will probably just get glued to this layer, but I think that maybe this fish should get glued up higher so it's elevating a little bit. Maybe same thing with the turtle, but maybe not. So I think we just have some final touches to do with this, and then we'll be done. Oh, I completely forgot about the hippo in the eyeball thing. That collage we were working on earlier. What do we feel? How do we feel about this one? I mean, it's kind of an interesting idea. Maybe the execution isn't so great, but I mean, it's okay. Obviously, this is the winner of this video. This 3D snake tail thing is so cool, and obviously it's more successful than this hippo in the eyeball thing. So, you know, interesting idea, but I think I'm just gonna, you know, tuck it off to the side and we can pretend that it didn't happen. But I think these challenge videos are so fun. I love only being able to flip through one book and you're sort of like, you have to use the images in that magazine. I don't know, I just think this challenge is so fun. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next Thursday for another collage video. Bye!